Board of Zoning Appeals Special Meeting for May 15th, 2025 will come to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to
flag
the flag of the United States of America,
to the
to the
republic
republic for
and
which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all.
Mr. Secretary, if you'll call the roll. Here.
Here. John Marshall. Here. Dan Rohaley. Jeremy Taylor. We have three.
So we have three members here, which we can continue with business for petitioners' information. We need to be in harmony, vote together, or else it will sway, or you have the option of deferring to the next meeting if you so desire. You can tell us that when we call your agenda up, but that's the rules for the game tonight. Okay. With that said, approval of minutes have been circulated. Any corrections, additions?
Make a motion to approve as presented.
I have a motion by Mr. Marshall for approval, seconded by Mr. Sauerman. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, if you'll call the roll.
Dick Sauerman.
Yes.
John Marshall.
Yes.
Nick Nosovich.
Yes. Moving on to the next item is old business. Under old business, we have petition 24-19. Windermere Townhomes LLC petitioner / owner requests a special use. Purpose is to allow townhomes in an R3 residential zone. Location is 1525 West 96th Avenue. If you will give us your name and address for the record, feel free to tell us what you'd like to do.
Good evening. My name is James Suss. I'm here this evening with and for Windermere Townhomes LLC. On behalf of my client, we are here to petition, as you just read, a special use to allow multifamily dwellings, in this case, 6 townhome units, continuous one structure, in an R3 zoned parcel. The lot is known as 1525 West 96th Avenue. Sorry, please bear with me. I haven't been before you in a while. It's kind of where Maryville Road kind of starts to kink northeast on the kind of more northern section of town, just north of 96th Avenue. If any members recall, we were here back before you in September of last year. There is a vacant 1 acre parcel at the northeast corner of this intersection. It's just south of the Windermere Arms condominium buildings. Very little has changed from our earlier submittal. We approached city planning with the intent to the proposed use, and then as well inquiring about the zoning. It's actually spot zone B2 today, which allows for a lot of potential authorized uses that are probably not desirable to the city. So this is the first of 2 petitions going before you tonight to allow the special use, and assuming that you find our petition favorable, we then immediately petition the Plan Commission to fully rezone the property so that those commercial uses that we probably don't want at that location can no longer exist. The special use, as I mentioned, is to allow a 6-unit townhome with access off a newly constructed alleyway that will be congruent with the townhomes to the north. When we were before you a few months back, the primary, it seems like the feedback for the petition was largely positive, but Dan specifically wanted to see what the structure would look like, which is what has been prepared over the last few months. If I'll scan back here, you can see just a brief illustration of how the site will work. This is a twisted site, so north is to your left. We will have driveway loading from, again, a new alleyway that will tie into pavement for Windermere Arms condominiums, a single cut onto Maryville Road, and the garage doors will face to the north. Patios will face to the south. The structure is located outside the easement. Obviously, structures like this, they really like to have some sort of outdoor space. So our goal was to have those very small patios God forbid they did need to be removed, they would be easy to if the city needed to access the sanitary sewer that's in there. It is a 40-foot easement and there's still plenty of room there. This is an illustration of the floor plan, in case anybody is interested. And most specifically, as I alluded to what Mr. O'Haley wanted to see before, this isn't like a full illustration of the structures that my client intends to build. But that's the synopsis of our petition. We're, of course, as always, happy to answer any other questions, but like I said, a two-part petition. So hopefully, if you agree with this petition, we'll be back before Planning Commission very, very soon. I should say not even soon, more or less as fast as I can get an application in.
Gotcha. Mr. Watson, staff report?
Yes, sir. Petitioner is requesting a special use to allow multi-unit townhomes in a proposed R3 residential zone. The proposed location is the northeast corner of Maryville Road and West 97th Place. Petitioner is looking to construct multi-unit townhomes on property that is currently vacant and is surrounded by residential on all sides, with apartments and condominiums to the west and the north. If approved, the petitioner will be seeking a change of zone approval to have the current B2 parcel rezoned to R3 residential to stay consistent with the current surrounding zoning. While the comprehensive plan shows commercial office use, the current zoning would allow businesses such as drive-through restaurants and liquor sales to go through site development approvals with a straight permitted use. All notices have been sent out by certified mail. Notice has been published in the newspapers, and the planning department has received no letters of remonstration. Planning department recommends approval of petition 2419.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Marshall, questions?
I think the proposal works for the area. Everything around it's the same. And I was surprised to see it was zoned B2, to be honest with you. But I don't have questions for the petitioner.
Mr. Solomon?
I'm the same. I think everything around is residential. I guess my only question, I'm just curious, has nothing to do with the approval or not, but has Windermere or the principals of Windermere constructed townhomes like this anywhere else in the area?
These specific ones. Oh, yeah, Ricky, you want to speak to your building experience?
You just want to come up, say your name and address for the record, please?
I'm Rick Lacosto. My company's RC Development. And I've done homes in the area. I spent 30 years working in Chicago, working for a large general contractor down there. Mainly high-rise construction, apartments and condominiums. And I'm going to start a townhome. I'm actually in for permit for a similar type townhome, also in Crown Point. We're hopefully going to be starting in July.
Very good. Thank you.
I also agree that I think it's a good fit based on what's around there already, and it would be appropriate to put something like this in versus the business zoning that we have for that area. So with that said, this is a public meeting. If there's anyone here that would like to speak to this petition, give you an opportunity to come forth, or anyone online. Second opportunity. Third and final. One more time online. Hearing none, then we'll close the public portion and bring it back to the board for any questions or a motion.
I'll make a motion to make a favorable recommendation to the city council, petition number 24-19, subject to staff comments.
Have a motion for a favorable recommendation by Mr. Sauerman with staff comments, seconded by Mr. Marshall. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, call the roll.
Dick Sauerman,
Yes.
John Marshall,
Yes.
Nick Nosovich.
Yes. So we will send a favorable recommendation to the city council. That meeting is on
That meeting is on June 2nd.
June 2nd. Obviously, you want to be here to answer any questions they have. And good luck.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Sauerman, do you have your microphone on?
one of those wired ones. Moving on to new business. First is 25-14, Adams Masonry Incorporated, petitioner / L Breckenridge Properties LLC owner. The request is a variance from development standards. Purpose is to allow encroachment of the side yard setback. Location is southeast corner of Virginia Street and East 112th Avenue. You'll give us your name and address for the record, and you can move forward with what you'd like to do.
Jennifer Baker, 1100 Allison Street, Crown Point, Indiana. I'm requesting a variance to pave the side yard to share access with the property that we own to the west at 601 112th Street here in Crown Point.
Mr. Watson, staff report.
Yes, sir. Petitioner is requesting a variance from development standards to allow setback encroachment of the side yard setback on the west side of their property. Property is located on the southeast corner of Virginia Street and East 112th Avenue. The petitioner is looking to move forward with site development on the property and would like to include a shared access with the neighboring property. A shared access agreement will be required at the site development stage if the variance is granted. Current setback requirements in an I-1 industrial zone are front yard setback of 30 feet, rear yard setback of 20 feet, side yard setback of 20 feet. The current proposed layout would have the western side setback encroach completely with flat work and parking up to the property line. No calls of support have been received by the planning department. All notices have been properly sent out by certified mail. A notice has been published in the newspaper. Planning department recommends approval of petition 2514.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sauerman, questions?
So did you say that you own the property that's contiguous to this?
Yes, I'm here representing my brother, Todd
Okay.
Adams with Adams Masonry. And so there's a lot 40B,
Mhm.
and then next to it is 601 112th Street. So it would be between those two.
Okay. Okay. And how did you arrive at the size of the building? I mean, what's the need for the encroachment?
Mr. Josh, do you have
Sure.
the answer to that, please?
Yes, so as she stated, she's here presenting for her brother who unfortunately couldn't make it with the reschedule. What he's simply doing is mirroring what is on lot 40A, the property to the west. The variance for the setback encroachment and the shared drive aisle is actually incredibly consistent with what we have in that area. The difference with this and the ones that are currently there is years ago, the ordinance was changed to not allow flat work in the side yard setbacks. And it was one of those changes to the ordinance that sort of got missed over the years and fell through the cracks. So as things came through site development, petitioners, staff, and the city didn't realize that technically it wasn't following what we had just passed an ordinance. So this was a prime example of someone who read the ordinance, came in, they had already done the subdivision and knew for us to do this drive shared aisle, much like what's along the rest of the street, we're supposed to have a variance, and they are very much correct.
Good, I like that.
Thank you.
Have no other questions.
Mr. Marshall?
Yeah, we've approved, I don't know, 15 of these in that subdivision.
This
I
is
mean,
incredibly consistent.
almost every other building in there shares a driveway, so, and it seems to be working, so. I'm sure if you had brought both these buildings in at the same time, we would have probably passed this on site development anyway, so, at plan commission level, so. I don't see anything inconsistent with the rest of the park, to be honest with you. Actually, that's exactly how they should lay it out, is have a shared driveway and then, have a cross access agreement and they can sell both properties and or use them or whatever you're gonna do with them. So I have no issues with this petition.
This is a public meeting. If there's anyone who'd like to speak to this petition, an opportunity to come forth or from online. Second opportunity to be heard. Third and final. Hearing none, we'll close the public portion out, bring it back to the board for any further questions or a motion.
I have one question. Hey, Josh. Did you talk to the petitioner in regards to presenting us a shared access agreement?
Yes, they will be turning that in with site development for the second building when the flat work goes in.
Okay, thank you.
Make a motion to approve 2514 with all staff comments.
I have a motion. I will second it for approval of 25-14. Any further discussions? Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, will call the roll.
Dick Sauerman.
Yes.
John Marshall.
Yes.
Nick Nosovich.
Yes,
There you go.
Thank you for your time.
you're welcome. Next is petition 25-15. Crown Point Community School Corporation petitioner / owner. Request is a variance from development standards. Purposes allow accessory structure to exceed 900 square feet. Location is 1151 East Summit Street.
Actually, in this case, we would like to present petitions 2515, 2516, and 2517 at the same time. Because they fall under different sections of our ordinance codes, they have to be submitted separately, but all three are for the exact same project.
Okay,
So we'll have the petitioner give one presentation, I will give one staff report, and then you would just have to vote separately on the three petitions.
do we need to read the other ones for record or?
For the record,
Yes.
Okay, and I can do that now? Is
Yes,
that
sir.
good? 25-16, Crown Point Community School Corporation petitioner / owner requests variance from development standard. Purposes allow accessory structure to exceed height of 16 feet. Location 1151 East Summit. And 25-17, Crown Point Community School Corporation petitioner / owner requests a variance from development standards. Purpose is to allow encroachment of the side yard setback. Location 1151 East Summit. Please state your name and address for the record and feel free to tell us what you'd like to do.
Thank you. Good evening. Chris Moore with Nice Engineering, 2421 173rd Street in Hammond. As mentioned, we're requesting 3 variances for the Crown Point Community School Corporation bus maintenance facility that's located at 1151 East Summit Street. I'll just go through them one at a time. The first one is we're requesting accessory structure taller than 16 feet. They're going to be well, let me take a step back and explain what we're doing. So it's an existing bus staging area, if you will, and the buses at the end of their shift come in there and they park. And there is not charging stations, but plug-ins for the buses to go in there and hook up to warm up the block heat or warm up the engine blocks in the wintertime. And we're adding some of those on the southeast corner of the property. And then all around the area, we're going to add canopies to go over the front portion of the bus so the bus can pull in and be partially enclosed, not really enclosed, but covered. So when they come in in the morning, the bus drivers can come in there. If there's inclement weather, they're not going to get snowed on or rained on when they're trying to get the buses ready to go. We're adding bus block heaters to keep them all ready to go. And it's all for the benefit of the school kids in Crown Point. So that's what we're doing. And that triggers the 3 variances. One, because they're going to be over 16 feet tall, again, just to get it tall enough to get the buses to come in. The second one that we're going to be requesting for is a side yard setback. On the southeast corner of the property, we're trying to get another one in here. Right now, there's currently vehicle parking, and they want to change that to add more bus parking on there. And all it's doing is just, again, adding more opportunities for buses to warm up with the block heaters. And then the third one is the area, it's considered to be garage area larger than 900 square feet. For the 3 units, it's going to be, one of the units is 9,200 square feet. The second one is going to be near 12,000 square feet. And then the third one is going to be 6,200 square feet. And then what we're doing is right now it's currently existing parking area, asphalt parking. We're not adding any impervious area. We are going to add downspouts on the units, but we're not increasing the impervious area and causing any more drainage problems. We are going to take the roof areas and connect them with downspouts straight to the detention basin. So we're going to control the water on there. And again, we're not changing it because it's already flowing there anyways. So all we're doing is giving it a path and kind of allowing the water to drain over there and not cause any problems, icing in the wintertime, trying to keep everything underground. I would think that's quick, simple, and easy.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Mr. Watson, staff report?
Yes, sir. The petitioner is requesting 3 variants from development standards to allow accessory structures to exceed the 900 square foot dictated by ordinance, allow accessory structures to exceed 16 feet in height as dictated by ordinance, and allow an accessory structure to encroach the side yard setback on the east side of their property. Property is located at 1151 East Summit Street, just to the west of Industrial Boulevard. Crown Point Community School Corp is wanting to install 3 large canopies to cover the buses that are housed on the property. The idea is to use them to shield school buses from the elements. The proposed structures are 19 feet in height, exceeding the ordinance by 3 feet. Accessory structures are allowed to have a maximum square footage of 900 feet. The first structure is 9,280 square feet. The second is 11,968 square feet. The third is 6,198 square feet. Third structure will also be encroaching the east side yard setback by 15 feet, leaving a setback of 5 feet. No calls of remonstration or support have been received by the planning department. All notices have been properly sent out by certified mail, and the notice has been published in the newspaper. Planning department recommends approval of petitions 2515, 2516, and 2517.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sauerman, any questions?
So given the square footage of these barns, I'll call them, probably the wrong term, how many buses can you cover with these?
I can go through and count them. I don't know that number off the top of my head.
Is this the full fleet of buses then for the Crown Point School Corporation? Or do they keep buses somewhere else too?
That I'm not sure of. I apologize. One of the administrators from the school board was here last meeting and he wasn't able to make it tonight. So I apologize. I can't answer all those questions.
And just to kind of tack on to the staff report as well, as was stated during the presentation, the drainage would then be going to the east, which it already is. The difference is that it would then have the proper flow to it to go to the detention pond. And the setback that is being encroached is next to a detention pond in an industrial zone. So it's not even a nuisance to any neighboring properties.
One more thing, I'm just curious. So right now, since these buses are out in the elements, particularly in the wintertime when there's a snow, is it the bus driver then that has to clean them and get the snow off before they're set to go? Or how, do you know anything about that?
I don't know how they operate on there. I know I'm from Highland. My kids go to the Highland schools, and I believe when they're going over there, they don't have to do all of it, but I think they have to participate in trying to help get them ready. So, and again, the front portion of the bus is going to be covered, so it'll help them out where they don't have to mess with any of it. They just get in and go.
Thank you. I have no question.
Mr. Marshall?
Well, I don't work for the school corporation, but I'm very involved with them, so I can tell you all the buses are parked there.
They are, okay.
I don't know how many they got, but it's a lot. And the staff comes in at like 5 a.m. on cold, snowy days and starts all the buses to make sure that they're all running and warm when the drivers get there. So it probably will help them just in cutting some of that down and not having them sitting there idling for 2 hours before the drivers get there. So, or not starting, so I think this fits the area. And I mean, in the long run, it's going to save us all as taxpayers because the buses shouldn't last long.
Right.
To be honest with you.
Thank you.
So I don't have any opposition to this petition or these 3 petitions.
This is a public meeting. If there's anyone who'd like to speak to this petition, an opportunity to come forth. Anybody online?
Nothing.
Second opportunity. Third and final. Hearing none, we'll close that out and bring it back to the board.
We're going to vote on these separately.
Yes.
I'll give Mr. Sauerman a couple of them, but I'll start with 2515.
Well, there's 3 of them. We can all share one.
Hey,
There
okay,
you go.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I can dig it. 2515, I make a motion for approval with staff comments.
A motion by Mr. Marshall. I will be happy to second that motion with staff comments. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Dick Sauerman,
Yes.
John Marshall,
Yes.
Nick Nosovich.
Yes. 25-16, I will be happy to make a motion for approval with staff comments.
Second.
Have a second by Mr. Sauerman. Any further discussions? Hearing none, if you'll call the roll.
Dick Sauerman,
Yes.
John Marshall,
Yes.
Nick Nosovich.
Yes.
Okay, I make a motion to approve petition 25-17, subject to staff comments.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Mr. Sauerman, seconded by Mr. Marshall. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Dick Sauerman,
Yes.
John Marshall,
Yes.
Nick Nosovich.
Yes. You have approval on all three of them.
Thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure, thank you.
You guys have a good evening.
Miscellaneous, anything under miscellaneous? Anything from the board? Then I will be happy to entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Sauerman,
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Marshall. Everybody aye?